back. And this time I've got the baby face going. Looking real young. I was feeling resistance, feeling that my mind was reluctant to me talking. I noticed a fear of posting too much, posting videos every day, being it too much, and I think also I think I'm getting better at not tying myself around outcomes. Most of my last videos have gotten very few views, and that's something that would have scared me a long time ago, or not too long. I mean, even just a week or two ago. But it's feeling easier and easier. I think I'm detaching from outcomes, and I think that's what I want to keep doing. And I've been thinking a lot. I've been having a lot of realizations. Yesterday, I just made public the video I made yesterday, which was a much more vulnerable video than usual. And I think there's fear in releasing it into the world. But I did it, feeling good about it. Just as I'm building this awareness of these fears, of these resistances, these urges, it's all I really need to kind of lessen their power and slowly make it less of an automatic process and allow myself to choose my input, choose how I want to think, how I want to talk to myself, like my inner dialogue, I guess, and build up those habits in a good way, in a way that serves me. And it's tough. It's been a weird path, weird journey, but I think I'm heading in the right direction. And I feel like even more thoughts were coming up today about my past, more memories. And I guess more so just thinking about the future. Like I feel like I'm at a point where I've accepted my past, I've been processing my past, I've been undoing my past, I'm doing those habits, and I'm doing the beliefs that don't serve me anymore. And I also feel like I'm ready to, I guess I want to be ready. I guess I don't feel ready necessarily, but I feel that I want to be ready, and I want to focus more on just the present, not focus so much on the past, not focus so much on the future, definitely not focus on outcomes. I think really a lot of my life has revolved around outcomes and what I accomplish, and basing my worth on my outcomes. And it's nice and all, but I think there's come points where I've been too influenced by expectations of others and societal expectations, and I've stopped pursuing what I want. And I guess that's kind of been the path I've been on, to undoing all that and to realizing all that over the past couple of years. But I guess now I'm at a point where I'm trying to figure out what's next, and I'm not really too sure. I feel like there's still more to uncover. I think there's still some more resistance, more fear, and I feel like I'm realizing something, which is that I used to be really into music. I used to be super passionate about music. It was like everything to me. I was in a band in high school with a bunch of friends, and those are some of the happiest times of my life. so many great memories of just us hanging out in my friend's garage, jamming, making music, playing covers, learning songs, whatever. And music was everything. Music was everything in my life. I was in jazz band, I was in guitar class, a piano class, a choir class. Music was my life. And I was ready to go all in too. I remember thinking in my senior year that I should just give up on being valedictorian, being ranked #1 by GPA, and just going all in on music, just taking like even more music classes and not doing the bare minimum, no longer chasing GPA and just giving it up, letting other people get ahead of me that year, my senior year, and just going all in. And I remember I got dissuaded from it by an uncle of mine who, I think his advice was fine. I did take his advice, and his advice was that a lot of people were looking up to me, like a lot of cousins, a lot of my family in Mexico. And they're inspired by me and being like American born from Mexican immigrants, and like they look up to me as like their older cousin, and I should set a good example. And it's so odd to think back to it now, because I'm realizing like, damn, like I feel like if I was true to myself, maybe setting an example would have been going all in to what I want, to what I love, to what I'm passionate about, knowing there's a risk of failure, a high risk of failure, a high risk that the outcomes I want don't come about, but doing it anyways, feeling certain and trusting in myself. I think by the end of high school, I was definitely done chasing notoriety, chasing like the academic success. I was pretty over it, and by college I was very much burnt out. But it's kind of all come full circle. I majored in global studies. I knew I had an interest in the world and in other perspectives, and I've traveled a lot of the world now. I'm in China right now, in Qingdao, and I guess I'm just where I need to be, just where I wanted to be. Not exactly, but it's a lesson, right? I'm at a crossroads where I can choose. I have the awareness to see how I've gotten here, to realize how I've arrived at this point in my life, and to choose what's next. And it's kind of, oh man, there's a huge breeze. The world is showing me signs too. I'm on the right track. A huge zephyr. Yeah, I'm where I need to be. I'm exactly where I needed to be, or wanted to be. I have the potential to be. Oh, I feel like there's more. I think I suppressed a lot when it came to music, because basically what ended up happening was I had a fallout with one of my best friends, bandmates, and actually ever since then, music, it was very tainted. It was like a whole love triangle, like fiasco situation. And music was kind of tainted. I remember I couldn't listen to like my favorite songs because it reminded me of very painful, hurtful memories, and I just had guilt, and it was just a whole mess. And I think that was definitely one aspect of why I kind of gave up on music. I remember there was a few years where I didn't even really touch guitar. And that was after, like I remember freshman year of college, I was like practicing guitar. I was like practicing like a couple hours a day and stuff. And it's funny because just yesterday I was thinking like, I realized that excuse me. I realized that I had started practicing because I felt like I needed to get better, like I should be better, I should improve. And I think that was definitely, I was just talking to my girlfriend about this yesterday, and I think that was definitely an aspect. I think I did start doing it less so out of the enjoyment, or at least that's how it felt, right? Like I wasn't enjoying it anymore. But maybe it's not even because like I felt the need to practice. I think that was an aspect. I felt like I needed to get better, and like I felt like pressure. I felt, I don't know, I guess kind of shitty that I wasn't playing as much. And I kind of had like an identity crisis in a way, like guitar, music, I mean, it was my life. And then it kind of all came crumbling, and I had to kind of find my way again. Oh my gosh, it's so crazy thinking back to all this. It's a lot of memories I haven't thought about in a very long time. But yeah, I mean, I remember a lot of music was tainted. I felt kind of guilty, shitty for what had happened, and very hurt as well that my band was destroyed. My friendship was destroyed, and I realized that I really loved the camaraderie of playing music, playing in a band, playing with friends, playing with people that we were just all having fun, all enjoying it. And yeah, I mean, ever since I've realized I've been very resistant, and I guess this is all stuff I'm gonna be exploring over the coming days, weeks, maybe months. I know I had a lot of resistance to like forming a band or trying to form a band, and I wouldn't really care to like meet new people, and it's probably in a way a trauma response. There's some fear that I'll just lose it all again if I get attached, if I guess start to care too much or get very invested in another group of friends in another band. So I've never attempted to start a band. Even with jamming, I've never really enjoyed jamming. It's all making perfect sense, actually. Ever since high school, like when I would jam, I'd either not enjoy it at all, I'd be very like dejected, just not feeling it, or I would jam and maybe I do enjoy it for a bit, but then like, now that I'm thinking back to it, I would realize that my mind kind of caught my enjoyment and was like, no, like you can't be enjoying this, like it's I don't know, it's hard to describe. Like I think there are moments in my life where I would find myself enjoying something, but then my mind kind of like shits on me, or like my demon talk kicks in. It's like, why are you like enjoying this? Why are you laughing? Like you shouldn't be this and that. And, part of that is probably like toxic environment and stuff, but I think part of it is protecting myself too. I think there's probably something underlying. I mean, probably just what I've laid out, how I put my thoughts into words. I think there was something there that my mind didn't want me to touch on or dive back into, that was suppressed. And I think I'm finally realizing all this. And there was so many times where I'd pick up the guitar and I'd try to play and I just didn't feel anything. I felt shit. I felt like I didn't enjoy it anymore. And that was probably not an accident. That's probably intentional. An intentional barrier of the mind to protect me from being hurt again. Yeah. And now my mind's shitting on me for not having anything more to say right now. And I don't know, this is all, I don't even know if anyone will ever watch this. This is all real-time processing, real-time, I guess, yeah, processing, real-time understanding all this. It's all coming together in real time. It's a strange thing. And I think part of it is this attachment to outcomes and chasing outcomes. And I remember with music, like with guitar, like I guess another thing I'd realized recently, or like today or yesterday, was that like I felt like people, I don't know, I remember there's some times where like I would be supportive of others who are like pursuing music, and then I would feel sad or like hurt that I would get no support in return. And now that I think about it, I'm thinking there's probably like a sense of loneliness, a sense of pain, a sense of sadness that maybe I didn't get the support I needed or I wanted when I was suffering and when I was pursuing music. I guess it's all stuff I need to give myself time to process and think about. But I think part of it is I need to just get back to enjoying things, just doing things for the sake of enjoyment, not to reach success, not to reach a certain point. Even my favorite band of all time, Tesseract, I remember listening to an interview or something where they were talking about like playing shows to like literally like one person in a bar or like no one. And now they're like doing a world tour. They're almost wrapping up their world tour. They've been on like 5 continents, and it's so cool, it's so sick to keep up with. And I realized, like there's been times where I've wanted to do something like that too. I've dreamed of being a musician and touring the world, playing my music, impacting people, making an impact. And I guess a lot of those realizations I've had recently in more general terms, that I want to help people, I want to make an impact, but maybe music is the answer and has been the answer all along. And I feel like just now there was even resistance in saying that out loud and coming to that conclusion. I started a second channel early this year, I think, and I was playing a lot of music. I was getting back into music, writing a lot of music, and writing songs and covers and stuff, and just sort of making demos of them. And I think that's definitely enjoyable, but I'm very curious. I'm gonna go back home soon, and I'm very curious to try again, to try and jam with people, try and form a band, get something going. I had set out to release an album by the end of the year, but I think the intention's there. It's good to dream big, but the thing about goals is that they don't actually help you like accomplish them. Like just because I'm like, alright, like I want to make an album, it doesn't actually help me like figure out how to make an album. Like the day-to-day is what matters to get there, but I think what's important is enjoyment, like actually enjoying the process, enjoying making an album, and really that just means enjoying music again. And I don't think it's a matter of like You know, I think it's not that. I think the reason I stopped enjoying music has more so to do with my negative experiences and less to do with, like, I don't know, I guess needing to do something related to how I pursue music or how I play music. Because I used to, I loved making, like, just learning songs, all my favorite songs, just playing them along to my favorite songs, like Tool and Queen, Metallica. I would learn so many songs, and it feels so good to just play them along with the actual track, or on Rocksmith, a game where you play guitar along to a song with a real guitar. You know, I realize sometimes I explain what things are as if someone will watch this, but I don't know. It's a weird thing. I don't know if anyone really ever does. But I don't know. I guess it's for me more than anything. I mean, even just this video, I feel like there might not be any value to it. But I mean, I don't know. I guess it's what I set out to do. It's honest. It's authentic. I mean, you're hearing me make these realizations and process in real time. So maybe there's some value to it. But you'll never know. I mean, there already has been value to it, and that value is for myself, and that's what matters. But yeah, I mean, I used to love making song covers. I used to love learning songs. I loved writing songs. I was scared to play songs. I was scared to play in public. Maybe that's something I'll do. And I think that's something that all my experience lately will probably lend to very nicely. Playing in public, playing in front of people. I think I've made a lot of progress in overcoming the fear of criticism, the fear of judgment, the fear of failure. And yeah, I mean, I think maybe I'm ready. I don't feel ready. There's definitely more resistance, more things to process, but I think mentally I feel like I'm ready. And that it's time. Time to try again. Time to keep figuring things out. And keep heading in the right direction. I guess if I keep filming, I'll probably just be sitting here thinking for a long time. I guess I'll wrap up there and just sit and think it out a little more. Thanks for watching. If anyone was, probably not. Blah, blah, blah. It doesn't really matter. Blah, blah, blah.